afternoon to those who are watching. Welcome to the Positive Vibes Youth Club uh, digital channel. Today, I've got a special guest, but before I introduce this fabulous young man, um, in case this is your first time watching our channel, this is Positive Vibes Community Youth Club based in Bolton, covering Lee, Wigan, and West Horton. All we are simply here to do is to help unlock talent and build positive futures and celebrate our young people. And today I've got a fine gentleman who's making waves in high school. Today we're just gonna do a spotlight about preparing for high school. We have noticed that most of our young members from Positive Vibes and in the community are transitioning from primary school, that is in the UK standards, that's moving from year 6 to year 7. So today I've got Luke Murefu, who's gonna be giving some top tips on how to prepare for the transition into high school. So over to you, Luke. Tell us a bit more about yourself.
Hello, people. I'm Luke Murefu. I'm 13 and I live in Wigan and I go to high school. I enjoy hobbies. I play a lot of football. I play for a football team. I love doing out of world stuff. I love adventure. I love doing all sorts of things. And today we're going to be talking about like the transition from primary to high school. And one of the things I was going to talk about is don't be scared just because there's going to be bigger people than you. Like I was scared because I was like, oh, there's going to be so many more people, like bigger people than more than me. And when I joined my first day, I was kind of really shy. I stayed like with only a couple of friends, 2 friends. But then you get to build that once you start living your life, having a life there. And then you get to a certain point where you think that it's not bad and it's not really bad. And you're just there for an education so you could go and get jobs. And yeah, so that's a bit about me.
All right, awesome. Before we go any further, which team do you support?
I support Liverpool FC.
Oh, Liverpool FC, Liverpool FC. Wow, they've been doing well. Sorry you missed out on the championship last season, but hopefully the next season is going to be a good one. You've talked a lot about your introduction. So how different is primary to high school? What's the major difference that stands out straight away?
Just how big high school is. Like it's so much bigger than your normal primary school one. There's so many more students, more teachers, more friends. And you just think like there can't be that many people in one school when you're only just joining, really. Yeah.
Wow. So for year 7, how many classes, let's say using your school as an example, how many classes do you have of year 7?
I think there's 7, I think, because we have 2 sides of the year. So I'm on the tech side and then there's a lang side in our school. So I think there's 9 classes just in year 7 and then the rest from year 7 to year 11.
And what's the average pupil size and what's the student to teacher ratio?
I think around you go to that 20 mark to 20 to 30 mark in one class, and then you can have 2 teachers or 1 teacher, because if you have 2 teachers, they'll be varying on different days the time you have the subject, so there'll only be 20 to 30 people.
I can imagine that can be a very daunting experience, moving from one class of year 6 and then all of a sudden, boom, you are now in a high school with bigger students and also many classes. Can I just take you back to your first day? Do you still remember what it was like when you first stand up? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember.
Right. Tell us a bit more. Did your mom or dad drop you off at school? Did you go by bus? Talk to us.
Well, one of my mom's close friends, her daughter goes to the same high school. She's now left, so her mom would take me to school. Then I'll take the bus home, so I could stay with her sometimes, and then I would explore the school with her. And so she was like, I wasn't just on my own. There was at least someone I knew who actually went to the school and like who actually kept me safe.
I see. I see. When you use the word safe, you're making it sound scary. Should anyone be worried about their safety?
No, they shouldn't be scared. Like, well, I was scared, but then you realize that there's nothing to be afraid about just because they're gonna be people bigger than you, or people might think they're gonna bully you, but it's not like that. It's you actually really enjoy it when you get to know the teachers and know the friends.
Wow. So tell me something in terms of let's get this out of the way. My favorite subject, which is food. What options does a student have when they are? Because obviously some people were used to having their meals done at school, and
Yeah.
then at the high school is that the same? Do you what sort of methods do you use to pay for your food in the canteen? And what
So
foods are allowed and not allowed?
so you're not allowed like energy drinks, like so no Lucasades or Monsters or whatever. And if you're having school dinners, it's like meal deals for like £2.30. So you're getting a bit of everything. So you're getting a main, a dessert, a drink, or you can just buy individual food. And then if you don't want to end that, you can bring your own packed lunch in.
Okay. Or what do you prefer yourself? What do you do at the moment?
Well, I have I do school dinners for me, and then like some of my friends do packed lunch. I don't really do packed lunch really. I just get the meal deals from school.
Okay. You mentioned something about bullying. We might as well address this one once and for all. So obviously there have been cases of, floating around that there are lots of bullies in high school,
Yeah,
people mugging you for your money. Yeah, how far true is that?
it's not really true. You just don't like don't try and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be the boss in high school, because that's when people start to criticize you, or all you have to do is just be yourself and just stay away from the bad people. If there's bad people in your friend group, go to a different one. And people don't really bully, because just stay to your own friend group and you'll be fine.
Okay. When you say stay away from bad people, how do you spot a bad person? Because they can come across nice. How do you spot one?
Because people like year 10s or whatever, they can do bad stuff outside of school. They can be getting detentions all the time in school, or head teachers. Like, just stay away from those people and just follow every instruction people say to do and just don't ignore them.
Okay, okay. So obviously for someone who's transitioning from primary school to high school, there's gonna be a lot of subjects, there's gonna be a lot of teachers, new environment. That can be stressful. How can someone prepare for that? How can they cope with the stress that comes with it?
Well, it just takes time because you're not getting taught by one teacher anymore. You have to walk around the school a lot to go different lessons. You just have to take the time, be patient, and just get to know the teachers. That's all, really.
All right, very, very good advice there. Look, we really appreciate it. Be confident and be patient with yourself. And in terms of friendship, is it possible that you start with someone on the first day and you finish high school with them, or that changes all the time? What has been your experience?
Well, I've been friends with the person I saw from day one. We haven't left each other by us. We're always next to each other, we're always talking. But then that can break away with some people. You might be someone from the start, and then they might go to a different friend group. And then that's okay. There's lots of other people out there on the site. So you can find new friends because it's better to have one real friend than 10 fake friends. So just
Wow,
keep
that's
finding people.
that's some deep advice there, Luke. One more thing as well, whilst we are talking about a high school experience. So, is there any support that's there at school if you're struggling with any of the subjects? Because I can imagine it's overwhelming, isn't it? From having one teacher to too many teachers. What do you do if you're struggling?
So in my school, there's like a head of year who covers year eight. So if you have any problems, we would go to him and then he would sort any problem that you have. And then he can help you, you can pull you out of lessons, give you advice, and just go to the people who, you can go to your head teacher or your teacher. Just go to any member of staff and talk to them about the problem you're having and they'll be able to fix it.
Okay. And there's been a lot of stories about peer pressure, things that you never used to experience. You are growing up as well, starting high school. How can one cope with peer pressure as a teenager?
Well, you again just go to a member of staff. Like if someone's saying, "Oh, do this," you won't get detention. Do this or do that, you won't get told off. And if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Let them find someone else to do it and just try not get peer pressured and just stay away from those people who want you to do things that you really shouldn't be doing.
Okay. When you say do things that you really shouldn't be doing, what are some of the things that can land someone in detention?
Well, skipping class, vandalizing school property, smoking, or whatever it will happen in the high school. Just those are the kind of the bad things people will try and make you do. So you just want to stay away from those people.
All right, all right. And I can imagine you're in high school, you're feeling yourself, and you're starting to get noticed by members of the opposite sex. Are people allowed to go into relationships at that age? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, you're allowed to do that, but you just have to keep it at a certain level because you're still young and you still can't be doing stuff what adults will be doing. So you can get into a relationship, just keep it at a certain level.
All right, very, very sound advice. So, in terms of your academic life, how important is planning and having a routine as a high school student?
It's very important because it all leads up to GCSE, which affects your whole life. It will affect the job that you may get or career. So just we need to study and then look at your routine, remember your books or get sleep. So it's important that you stick to your routine.
I can imagine someone listening to this interview, they are kind of starting to get nervous and scared that, oh, high school seems to be a bit rubbish because it's like a bit more intense. What do you do yourself to unwind in your downtime to the fun stuff? Let's go to the fun stuff.
Well, if you're feeling down or you feeling tense, do something that you love at home. Or like I love playing football. Playing football will release stress for me, or just try and find something that you like to do, running or exercise, gaming, whatever. Try and do that thing what makes you what you like and what is fun to relieve the stress.
Okay. I've noticed some primary schools in England aren't really that sporty or intensive when it comes to sports. But in high school, is that the same? Do you play any sports? Do you compete at inter-school level or inter-regional level? And how does one go about choosing the right sports or activity or club to do?
Well, I do play for the school football team for my school, and it's just something that I love. Like people might not love PE, and then there's different like sets, so you people can go at different how people go at different speeds. So if you don't like it, you just have to like put up with it because it's a subject, and obviously you don't have to choose it at GCSE, but it's just good to get like it's there so you have exercise and you keep fit.
I see. So, what are other sports or clubs that new students can sort of keep an eye on?
Well, it depends what yes most people do. Like uh, if nobody does tennis in your school, it's unlikely there's gonna be a tennis tournament involving the school. So if say if you like badminton and there's a badminton team, you can join it because it's what you like to do, isn't it? So just take it takes time. You have 5 or 6 years, so you have lots of time to choose what sport you want to do.
So, welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Positive Vibes Community Youth Club digital channel where today I've got a special guest, Luke Murefu. We're just talking about life in high school, the transition, what to expect. So, Luke, thank you so much for affording us your time and the really, really good information you are providing today. I'm sure a lot of young people will be inspired. So, imagine it's your first day in high school. What clubs can you join and what sports are available for young people to do?
Well, there's variety choices. You can pick anything: PE, football, basketball, badminton, tennis. There's drama, woodwork. You can pick food. You can do art. There's so many choices that you can choose.
Okay, so what sort of level of competition do you participate in? Is that just at school or you've got different clubs?
Well, I've got an outside club, the football one, and then we compete in for school football as well. So it's a competitive football for school. It's one of it's very high. So we're really competitive as a team and as a school.
Okay, okay. So is high school stressful at all?
It's stressful at times. It is very stressful at times because now I'm getting near to year 9. I'm gonna have to study a lot because of marks, and you start doing GCSE work. So it's gonna be more intense than the last 2 years from year 8 to year 7.
So if you're struggling with any subject, do you get a bit of additional support from the teachers?
Yeah, they let you stay as you want. You can come back at lunchtime or break. You can see they'll help you what you're stuck with. You're stuck with a math problem, you're stuck, you don't know how to mix something together in food or the it takes time. They'll take their time to help anyone if they have a problem.
And then, when you're in primary school, you are given a seeder, someone to mentor you and hold your hand. Is that the same in high school? Do you get a seeder or a mentor?
You get like a mentor. They don't really hold your hands anymore, but they they just help you, like they talk to you and you can just express any problems you have and they'll be the ones to make it right.
How important is it for someone, a young person, to be confident in themselves?
It's very important because if you're not confident, you're gonna be stuck, and you're gonna feel high school stressful because you're gonna be there 5 days a week and you have to make sure your confidence is sky high. You're ready to achieve anything and don't let anyone put you down and you'll achieve anything because you can do anything you want to be or do.
All right, let's come back to yourself, Luke. What are you hoping to do in life? Do you have an idea of your career choice?
Yeah, I want to be a footballer. I want to continue my passion for the game and if it doesn't work out then uh it that's just okay and I'll find something else to do. I'll find
And what
something.
is it? What's that something else? The backup plan, your plan B?
I like to be a pilot. I like planes. I like going on holiday on a plane. So a pilot, I think, is a good choice as well.
All right. So how are you balancing your academics and obviously your career path? Um, how hard are you working to make? Because obviously, if you're gonna be a pilot or a footballer, you gotta excel in certain subjects, isn't it?
Yeah,
So how do you always remind yourself of how you need to perform?
because I balance it out because um, to achieve those jobs, I have to do good in certain subjects. So for football, I have to good at PE, pilot, math, science, those kind of stuff things. So you balance it out. I'll do football or training on a Thursday and a game on a Sunday. Then that Friday to Monday, that's where the balance comes out for the jobs. So I would do that academic life
All
first,
right.
and then I'll do the rest.
All right. So now we're moving over to, obviously we are in the middle of the pandemic. You are having to do some of the things remotely. How have you been affected as a high school student with the pandemic?
Well, I for my year specifically, we've been affected because we've been take we had to go home and isolate a lot through this year, and then we had to go home half through year seven, and it was only just new. And everything we've been doing it on Teams and Zoom. So we're still learning. We're just doing it remotely on a phone, laptop, or whatever you're using.
So, and or what has been the experience? How have you found it?
I found it tough at times, and then my teachers have phoned my parents and this to see how they're doing. I'll talk with them on the phone. They'll say, "How are you doing?" or "Are you enjoying learning remotely?" And it's tough at times, but it's kind of fun as well because you can lie in a little bit before you can you can lie in a bit before you join your first lesson. So yeah, that's all.
Okay. So what have you done? Obviously, it's been a stressful time during this pandemic. What other extra things have you been doing just to cope with the pandemic?
Well, me and my dad would do walks sometimes. So you're not just stuck in the house like the whole day on a computer, just listening. So we got exercise, and so we stay fit, and obviously obviously I'd still like to learn, but like not being at school is so you don't see your friends, and it's rough. So people were still in lockdown, and go talk to the people you love. Go and talk to your family, friends. Go and check on your neighbor. Keep hand sanitizing. Keep washing your hands, and keep yourself safe. And if you do that, the pandemic will finish, and you will have a brilliant life in high school.
All right, thank you. Oh, before we knock off, you said you are dreaming to be a footballer. Which team are you hoping to sign for one day?
Well, I would obviously want to join for Liverpool, but then that's when you don't get playing time. So you want to go at a lower club first and build yourself, and then eventually go to Liverpool.
All right, all right. And are you hoping to be a prefect at school, head boy at some point? Is that something, any form of leadership role?
Yeah, because then I could get a better relationship with the head teacher or the staff. I'd love to be the head boy, to be honest.
All
And
right, and you are working towards it.
yeah, because I was a prefect in year 6, and I was like an RE champion, a PE champion. I was all of those in primary, so I want to continue that to high school.
All right. So this is your moment to say any final words, you know, to young people out there who are watching this interview today in 5 years' time, whichever. What would be any final words on your heart you'd like to share?
All I want to say is don't be afraid, and be who you are. Don't be someone else. That's my message to you.
Thank you, Luke. It was a pleasure to have you at Positive Vibe. Thank you.
Thank you too, Frank, for the interview.